This coalition is like the Avengers of democracy, and trust me, we're ready to assemble. We've brought together advocates, community members, and a whole lot of passionate individuals who are ready to bring about this change. Our coalition includes over 50 organizations, all sharing the belief that our electoral system should reflect the vibrant tapestry of our communities. From the get-go, we recognize that change doesn't happen in a vacuum. It takes teamwork. We've partnered with an array of organizations, including grassroots groups and local civic leaders, united by the common goal of making our elections more inclusive.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. For me, it's an honor to be at this hearing today because I've been not shy of being a fan of ranked choice voting. I went to a very great event earlier in the year where we were able to rank empanadas, and I thought that was brilliant because, you know, it's about, do you like chicken or beef, or does everyone like ham and cheese? And it's about figuring out which is the one that people agree with the most.
I'm a Dorchester resident in Councillor Fitzgerald's district, actually. You know, a mentor once told me that elections at their best are an exercise in civic and political education. I know the structure of our elections create political pressure that often force candidates to focus on the negative or to create false distinctions as opposed to lifting each other up and focusing on where we find common ground. I know I'm not alone in feeling this way.
I will invite the following individuals down. Please take a seat. Ed Shoemaker, who's the Executive Director of Ranked Choice Voting Boston. Marisola Santiago from Mass Vote. Rahsaan Hall from the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. Josh Daniels from Fair Vote, who is a legal advisor. Victoria Pelletier, who is a city councilwoman from Portland.
See you. My name is Victoria Pelletier, and I am the National Partnerships Manager at Represent Women, which is a research organization that supports solutions to address the barriers that women face in politics. I am also in public office as the second Black woman elected to the Portland, Maine City Council. And I made the long and exhausting trek all the way from Portland, Maine here to Boston. It was only an hour and a half, I'm just kidding, to express my support for ranked choice voting. So in terms of how it's changed at the ballot box, I mean, I think we've talked about this a little bit, but there is a lot more voter engagement from the voter side because they feel like now they have additional candidates that they can rank. So voter education has grown. People feel a little bit more inspired to actually go and make their voices heard, knowing again that they're not stuck between, again, two of the same candidates that aren't reflecting their best interests. And so there is, and I don't know that I have the specific data for this, but since we have had ranked choice voting in Maine, more and more individuals, at least in Portland, that I've seen are actually going to the ballot. And that happened in my race when I was running. I was in a two-person race, but with some of my colleagues where ranked choice voting really came into play. A lot of people who either stopped voting or hadn't voted before were actually going back to the ballots to make their voices heard. They felt like candidates then reflected their issues. There were more women, there were more people of color. They felt like they identified more with who was running because there was an option for ranked choice voting.
My name is Josh Daniels. I am from Utah, where I served as the elected county clerk in the second largest county. Our county, Utah County, was the first to implement and administer ranked choice elections for cities that would choose to use ranked choice elections.
I want to talk about, and anyone can address this question, maybe you, Josh, but it could really go to anyone. How does ranked choice voting and support for ranked choice voting vary among political alignment, so like Republicans and Democrats?
In terms of a partisan opinion about ranked choice voting, I think over the years it's been mixed. I think the greater opposition, if you will, to ranked choice voting is those that don't want a change to a system or rule set that maybe produced the results they wanted, and if they perceive that it would produce different results, they're suspicious of that. And honestly, it's usually incumbent power that is afraid of being disrupted because of something different. Although what we see actually in results is that the outcome of ranked choice elections aren't significantly different in a partisan sense, or even in a power dynamic between incumbent powers and not incumbent powers. And so the actual impact is very low. And so it's really more of a perception problem.
My name is Rahsaan Hall. I'm the president and CEO of the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. I'm also the co-chair of the Ranked Choice Boston Coalition. The data is clear. that ranked choice voting increases participation from individuals who would otherwise not consider running for office but have very good and valuable platforms and ideas to bring to the public. The data is clear that ranked choice voting increases voter participation, particularly from segments of the population who have been otherwise unengaged and uninterested because they don't see candidates that either look like them or represent their ideas and their values. The data is clear that a significant majority of the residents of the city of Boston are in favor of ranked choice voting. Now, there have been several questions that were raised earlier as to whether or not it was confusing. It's not. And we don't have to elevate the intellect of our residents. There are a lot of intelligent people in the city of Boston.
Next up, we have Mary Soul.
Yes, thank you all for taking the time to bring this forward, and thank you, Council President, for making this opportunity possible as well, and all the co-sponsors. I'm the Policy and Organizing Director of Mass Vote. This is a lot more simple than people often talk about, and as being part of the Rank the Empanadas, another example is just like if we talk about even sports, like in our country, as a big baseball and basketball fan myself, like we're always talking about who's going to win the Western Conference and who's going to clinch the East. Here's our top 3, here's our top 4, right? So it feels very intuitive in that way, and I think that the community by far and large has expressed that, which has been amazing.
Hello, thanks for having this hearing. I'm Maureen White. I'm an East Boston resident. I'm actually not here as part of any coalition or organization. I'm here as a individual citizen who feels so passionately about this issue. So please consider voting for this. We need to do better, and to be perfectly honest, I can't imagine why you wouldn't support it unless you were worried that a better system would vote you out of office. Thank you.
I'm Johnny McInnes, the Political Director for the Boston Teachers Union, and also greetings to those city councilors that are present now as well. With over 10,000 educators and school professionals in our community, we actively vote. We believe RCV is a vital step toward ensuring that every voice supporting our students and families is heard and valued in the democratic process. As educators, our primary goal is to advocate for the best interests of our students and their families. RCV allows us to vote for candidates who genuinely care about education in our community without the fear of wasting our votes. Our neighborhoods need leaders who understand the everyday challenges we face. RCV opens the door for grassroots candidates to shine and have a fair shot against more established figures.
I want to thank the panel again. I want to thank the Elections Department. Given that, this hearing on docket 0996 is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.